guys, Amber Heard did not win in the UK. She was not even a defendant in the UK. So I don't understand how we got here, but I get it. There's so much information flying about, even myself. There's so much I'm still learning even as I'm making these videos. So today, guys, I'm going to be explaining to you because thankfully, the black belt barrister, who is a legal professional, has started a petition to reopen the UK trial because, like himself, I also now feel that that whole trial, that was not even something for Amber to use in terms of backing her up and winning in the UK, which she's basically trying to use to say, well, I might have lost in the US, but I won in the UK, so it's like 1-1, so we're like on the same level, right? But also because Johnny deserves the justice for this. Like, that was an injustice decision. As after looking through everything that's happened, which I'm going to be talking about either in one video, maybe a couple of videos, because I don't want to make these videos too long, I'm going to be breaking down why I feel the judge, it was very corrupt. This is completely a scam, this whole trial. And like I said, Amber wasn't even a defendant in the first place. Must say special shout out to the black belt barrister. I'm going to include the link to the petition down below, and hopefully through this video and my following videos, I'm going to convince you that this trial needs to be reopened and you will sign it for yourself, because Johnny deserves justice. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So without further ado, let's start by just comparing a couple of important things that I want to point out about the difference between the US trial and the UK trial, so that people actually can understand. And then we're going to move on and we're going to talk about how this judge, let me tell you, this judge wanted to ignore every single thing he could ignore about Amber Heard, every single piece of evidence that would suggest that she was not a credible witness. However, he did not do so, and we're going to talk about why that's the case as we go through the video. So if you do enjoy this, please subscribe. Please let me know your thoughts, any other information you guys have, because it's because of you guys that I even came across this guy called the black belt barrister. I didn't even know about him. I didn't even know about this petition, and now because you guys have actually commented, I can then share that with other people. Other people can inform themselves, and this is how it's supposed to work, and this is how it gets amazing. Other than that, guys, don't forget to like. Now let's talk about it. So the US trial, which Johnny Depp just won, was a defamation trial, right? Defaming his name. This is to do with, obviously destroying somebody's reputation, making them look bad, etc., etc. And Johnny Depp won that case. And I want to say that because it's important for us to acknowledge that he did actually win that case, as I'm sure many people are acknowledging. Now, here's the one key difference between the two different trials. First of all, that trial was by a jury. So a jury, of course, is random people. I say random, but civilians who are supposed to have an objective perspective, which we're going to talk about my problem with the concept of a jury and juries in this modern day society where we've got social media and so many different ways that people can already be programmed to think what they think, in a separate video. So look out for my video about the jury. That's going to come up as well in this whole Amber Heard situation. But in that case, there was a jury who got to make the decision, and they were the ones who decided in favor of Johnny Depp. However, in the UK trial, this is a very important distinction, is that and now the UK trial was actually based, let me just give you the background in case you're unaware. The UK trial was actually based on the fact that the Sun article had made a claim that Johnny Depp was a wife beater. They then changed that to accuse him, saying that he's an accused wife beater. Now, as I talked about in one of my previous videos, if you've seen it already, if you haven't, you should check it out. Check out my Amber Heard playlist. I mentioned how Amber, when she was on her narcissistic gold digging quest to get all the things from 600k a year to 3 penthouses to Range Rover paid for and everything paid for, legal fees, everything paid for. She was dangling in front of Johnny Depp's face that, listen, if you don't give me what I want, I'm gonna start talking to the press. I'm gonna start making you look bad. I'm gonna do what I need to do, right? And she all said, even in the audio clip, it was apparently because she was doing all of this because she was going to get evicted in 21 days, even though the guy said, listen, you can stay if you need somewhere to live for some months even. Anyway, so I believe this is part of her now trying to disparage his name, trying to create a claim for herself, a reason for people to feel sorry about her, sorry for her. And so now we have the claim of her being a wife beater. And interestingly enough, in this case, in the UK trial, the defendants who were on trial, this is important, it was not Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. It was Johnny versus News Group Newspaper Limited which are the ones who I believe produced The Sun, and Dan Woods, who's the executive director at The Sun and the one who actually wrote this article. So Amber was not even involved in the court proceedings as far as being a defendant. Now, as clarified by the black belt barrister, which I'm also going to talk about now, the difference is that she does not have to be disclose information. How did he write? Yes, she does not have to disclose. She's not subject to discovery. That's perfect. She's not subject to discovery. I mean, she doesn't have to give information under oath as a defendant would have to, which kind of means she just gets to ride the wave of never really being able to be pinpointed or blamed for everything. And right here, I want to highlight something that we have to understand about the justice system, that even when we're hearing about a situation, even though we might be talking about a particular area, so for example in the US they were talking about domestic violence, however the case was not about domestic violence, the case was about defamation. So it's you have to be very specific with the types of the claims that are made. It's very specific how they deal with each individual thing. And so Amber Heard, yes, Johnny won in the US as far as defamation, but he did not necessarily win as far as domestic violence, as far as her being charged or sentenced as a person who has done that as a actual crime. And that's a very important thing for us to highlight in all of this about how the justice system works and everything like that. So in the UK trial, there is just one judge, right? So there's just one judge who basically gets to decide what's going to happen. Now, I have my feelings about the legal system. As you guys know, I feel it's highly corrupt. And I think there's going to be a lot of examples in this, but I must say that I really respect, the black belt barrister, and he also had his wife in one of the videos talking about how part of the reason they do what they do is because so many people have been affected negatively. I've seen both sides in personal experiences myself, of people either getting positive or negative experiences in the legal system. So I think it's amazing to see the actual professionals in the job who are trying to show that this can be good. We're going to try and do something, and I have a big salute to the barrister, to the black belt barrister, for even starting this petition in the first place. So don't forget to go and sign it if by the end of this video or these videos you are also convinced that this case needs to be reopened. So we're going to go ahead and talk about a few things that were highlighted. And first things first being that, Amber was a witness in this trial. So she was like a witness as far as opposed to a defendant. And the thing about this, and I think I'm using the right terminology. If I'm using the incorrect terminology, my apologies, y'all. But it's interesting how the judge did not discredit her as somebody who was able to give evidence, considering there was a considerable amount of information and proof of her being a liar, and he just seemed, I don't know if it was a he or she, sorry, the judge, whoever they were, just seemed to keep ignoring all these different little red flags that were popping up about Amber. For example, there was a situation. These things were all brought into question, by the way, in the actual UK trial. These things were brought to question in the actual UK trial. For example, the fact that she was illegally importing dogs into Australia. She'd been found to have made a false statement about this whole situation. And I will actually tell you exactly what that is. Yes, so basically what she had tried to do as far as this whole Australia thing, the false statement that she made, or the fraudulent she was trying to do, is the dogs who were supposed to be sent, they had to have certain checks and get certain documents from the doctor or whatever, the vet, and she was trying to get somebody to forge the dates on it to say that the dates were earlier for some of them, so that they could all travel together at the same time. And the reason why I'm pointing this part out in particular is because, again, we're here introduced to the fact that she has no problem. She has a complicated relationship with the truth. She's in a situationship with the truth, right? She's in an entanglement, right? Maybe that sometimes she wants to put forward that that's what she's really about, but in reality she's really there for herself, right? And so as I always say to you guys, somebody who's prepared to lie, especially on these levels, you can't trust them at all, because lies are like, it's infinite, because it is an infinite thing. If you make up a lie, you could be asked any question. You have to keep lying to continue on the lie, right? And so I think with this, we're already seeing that, it's a bit dodgy, that fact that she was already caught out with that. But interestingly enough, the judge even though she pleaded guilty to making a false statement, here's what the judge said this exactly. This is what the judge actually said in the UK trial. Its nature is so far removed from the evidence which Miss Heard gave in this trial that its relevance for her credibility is marginal at most. Basically, what he is saying, from my understanding, is that because this thing has like nothing to do with this case, even though she lied about that, we don't know that she would lie in a situation that's about like this case, which for me is a bit like, if a liar is a liar, a liar is a liar. So I don't understand why. And again, backed up by the black belt barrister, who is an expert, and also make sure to check out his videos. I haven't even said that yet. Make sure to check out his videos as well. A liar is a liar is a liar. Like, so I don't understand how in certain situations I could understand how that part of the law could be applied and it could make sense, you know. But in this case, when it comes to things down to things like lying, especially lying on a big level, because she was lying to Homeland Security. Like, I don't know, guys. I don't know about you guys, but I love to watch. One of my favorite shows I like to watch is Border Patrol. What's the one that's called? It's not Border Patrol. It's oh, the Australian one. Anyway, I really love to watch that show. It's one of those shows I just love to watch, right? For some reason, I find it just fascinating seeing what people are doing, like in the airport and stuff. Anyway, one of the things about that show that I always notice is how strict the Australians are, because all the different shows are like in different places. You've got like UK Border Force and what is it called? I wish I could remember what it's called. And it's literally my favorite one of all. But anyway, they're very strict in Australia, right? So she's really out here trying to lie to Homeland Security. Like, so again, she's proven that she's willing to lie to an authority figure, which from what I've understood from what the black belt barrister said, that's supposed to be something that works against you as far as the judge is concerned, you know? So that's just already step one of where we're seeing her just jumping out from having to deal with anything. You know, there was also this situation where her previous assistant, Kate James, who was her US assistant, had claimed that Amber had a other UK assistant called Savannah, and claimed that she was actually an assistant, and that would have meant that Savannah, who was in the UK, was working in the United States illegally. They also, that was when they lied to Homeland. Sorry, my bad, I'm getting confused now. But that's when they lied to Homeland, yeah. Yeah, that's when they lied to Homeland. My bad. But yeah, so she in this part was sorry, I'm jumping around in my notes here. So she had said to them, basically to Homeland, that she was not that Savannah was not working unlawfully, and this was also shown in the letter that was sent to them to say that no, Savannah doesn't work for me, blah 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 blah. Even though Kate James, who was the ex-assistant of Amber Heard, was the one who included a check to show that a certain amount of money, which was $1,625, was the amount paid to Savannah. And so again, even just the amount of money and it being so specific, to me is more an example of like what you get, you know, when you work for you work for somebody. Because like, if you're just, because Amber tried to claim, oh, this money was just because I wanted to help her out, but I feel like usually if you're going to give somebody money just to help them out, would you not generally give them a rounded figure? And again, this is an assumption. I'm not saying this is exactly what happened, but I'm just throwing ideas out there as to all these little things. You know, it's kind of like, you know, like when it's kind of like when you put, sometimes one thing on its own doesn't really stand up, but when you put lots of different bits together, kind of makes you go, you know. And so yes, so that again is a bit interesting, that amount of money for me. But again, I'll leave that to you guys to make your decision as to how you specifically feel about that. And also the judge decided he didn't want to listen to Kate James because she had been previously fired. So although she was involved in all of this, and although she was actually included in what we're going to see of some of the other bits that were in the health documents, yes, she was the one who was involved. Here we go. Now I found my notes. I don't know why I don't just follow my notes in order. I always do this. I write notes and then I don't follow my notes in order. But anyway, she was the one who was trying to, Amber was sent an email to try and get these health documents altered to get the dogs into Australia. So there's the clarification, y'all. Sorry to have confused you if you were confused, but I'm sure you're still following. And again, even in this, she tries to say that in this email that it was clearly Johnny's language, not hers. So she's blaming Johnny Depp. He clearly is just literally the scapegoat, which again, we know this is what happens with narcissists. They have scapegoats because they need somebody to put basically all the blame, that all the things that they've done, they need to put all that onto somebody else because they need to take the attention away from themselves. And therefore, again, we're seeing here she's doing the classic narcissistic move, scapegoat, scapegoating him. So that's disappointing. Again, but I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to continue with this, guys, in a part 2, where we're going to keep looking through and we're going to talk about some interesting things that were brought to the table that the judge still, and again, even with that, what I just mentioned about this, the judge took the fact that Amber said that she denied that this was her who wrote this email to her then fired assistant about changing the documents. She denied that, and the judge accepted that. He accepted that this did not originate with her, and again, this did not impinge on her credibility. So we're going to keep talking about this, guys, and like I said, I'm kind of doing like a commentary, or not commentary, but kind of like building off or expanding in my own way off of everything that the black belt barrister has spoken about, because he had some really good videos. I'm so grateful you guys sent them, and he really broke it down with the legal, explaining the legal language, because as I say to you guys all the time on my channel, a lot of the stuff that goes down, a lot of the stuff these people get away with, it's because they cover it up in this very clever language that they use against us, because we don't understand exactly what's been going on, or they just manipulate certain things using the law and the different things in there. So it's so helpful, and as I've said to you guys before, it's so helpful when we have real legal professionals speaking up on these types of things. But yes, guys, I will see you in part 2, where we're going to be talking about how the judge dealt with the audio that was brought forward, where she actually admitted that she hit Johnny, and also the video about an alleged altercation with her sister, what that could mean. And then we're going to finally talk about the corruption, the potential corruption of the judge, and we're going to talk about how this goes along with a lot of the stuff that we talk about on my channel anyway. So I'll see you guys in those videos. Thank you so much for your patience and understanding with me jumping around with my brain and everything that I'm thinking and trying to get all my thoughts out. I'm so grateful for all the support from you guys. Definitely let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Send me anything you guys think is important to be shared to light. Don't forget to sign the petition if you're not already convinced. Continue with us through to the rest of the videos, but let's go through them anyway, because I want to be able to share, and I can share from a more unfiltered place because I don't work in that field, so I'm not limited by any legal restrictions, so I get to share my opinion freely, and therefore I'm going to do so. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like. Other than that, guys, thank you for everything, and I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.